Welcome to the Beasts of the NFC East podcast. I am your host, Sean Gnitzcavich, with my co-host, Jeremy Goode. Jeremy Goode, what is good?
Well,
What is good, Jeremy?
I would like to say that 10 wins in a row is good in the NFL, longest streak in Eagles history. I was in the building last night too, which was extra nice. It was cold,
Oh,
but
that's nice.
it was a nice game.
Battle of Pennsylvania, yeah.
That's right, Battle of Pennsylvania, and we're just getting the football weather. The season's it's kicking up. Eagles are good. Dallas is winning, which I think is hysterical. It doesn't do them any good. Giants are good in the fact that they're sticking to the script and losing. Maybe something in Tim Boyle too. He kind of looked a little good.
Yeah, Tim Boyle, Connecticut legend, UConn legend. And it's funny because you're going on your record streak for most wins. We're going on a record streak for most consecutive losses. And I think we're going to hit it. I think we're tied with it right now. I think next week is the game breaker. 10 straight, right? Yeah. Pretty rough.
Yeah, tale of two cities, for sure. Washington wins, nail biter at the end. Wow, they're holding on to some points there. Yeah, you guys, we'll get into it. But yeah, good week of football, December.
Good week, yeah, good week. We're going to recap all these games, and just good. Especially I was talking about this a little bit prior to, but some great fantasy football productions, not from Saquon. Like, if everybody's been riding Saquon all year,
yeah,
it's rough. And then some big injuries, too. Big injuries that I think are, like, not just in fantasy, but also for playoff indicating teams. I mean, I guess we can get into it later, but, like, David Montgomery being out for the year and Aleem McNeil being out for the year for the Lions.
Yeah.
And with their loss, it's looking good playoff-wise. And also with the Packers beating the Seahawks, that's looking good playoff-wise. Like, there's just a lot of, like, not every game counts. I mean, they kind of do. Even the Giants game, that counts towards helping us secure maybe Shedeur Sanders, which everything has been like he's all Raiders, all Raiders. I think he just likes messing with the media because he has that catch with Malik Neighbors before the Heisman in New York, and then he's showing the New York Giants logo on the football to the camera.
I think he would have no issue going to New York.
I don't think so either. And I think, I also think if John Mara sees Shedeur as a better prospect and Joe Shane does not, or if Shedeur doesn't like Brian Dabble, whatever, I could see John Mara kicking him to the curb because I don't know. We'll get into that. I mean, like I said, I just refreshed Google to see if the Giants fired Dabble and Shane yet. Which another plane. As far as I know, no flashing, but I don't like to Google flashings at Giants games, but I didn't see anything on the internet about that.
I didn't
another
either.
plane.
I didn't either. Eagles had a plane too.
You guys had a plane? What did your plane say?
Our plane said, hold on. Enough fake. And I will say too, I saw this plane walking up to the tailgates.
Yeah.
Enough fake news! ! Philly stands with 1-11. So, kind of taking some shots at the media, which I kind of love. We had our plane. We've had some planes before.
Yeah, and just like predicted, Jalen Hurts, guess what? Can throw the ball, and actually threw the ball really well.
He did.
And I feel like that's like Sirianni. Like, he is such a like FU to the media type guy.
Yeah,
like he's all about the narratives. He's even in the game with Saquon where he was like going to break all the records against the Giants. He's like, "Do you want to break it? Like, it's up to you. Like, you're pretty cool. Like, I want you to, but it's up to you." Like, he's very aware of the media, man.
He's aware of the media. Those moments help when he's mic'd up for sure. Team guy for sure as well. Yeah, those microphones. He has a lot of access. He talks to. I mean, the head coaches talk every week, of course, but I think he talks maybe one extra. No, I don't know, but he talks a lot, and it's answers he gives are 4 times as much as any other coach. So there you go.
Yeah, I guess we can just get into these games because I feel like, especially for the Giants, like we're gonna end up just talking about this. So let's just get the losers, the one NFC East loser out of the way. My New York Football Giants, and I am repping proudly because guess what? I still love this team. I got excited to still get up and watch my team. Not as excited as I would be if we actually were playoff relevant, but I got up and I was excited to sit my ass down. I put it on the big screen. I had Red Zone on the middle screen because I don't even care. I have friends over. They're like, I know, I get it. Sean's going to watch his fucking, it's my TV. I get to watch my shitty football team. All right. But, yeah, it's the reason why I do like watching is just for like I have been all year. And I think this is like what Giants fans retain from this. Competitive losses, but I want to see our young players, our core, or the players moving forward, like Brian Burns, still relatively young too, play well. And we saw some good stuff. Plus, hey, dude, we might have something in Tim Boyle, the quarterback the Giants cut, and then brought back. And guess what? He's the best one out of the three bozos we've been rotating through. Yeah. And honestly, I don't know. Even Drew Lock, he looked like he was ready to go too. Like the walking boot, everything just seems sus to me. Yeah. Honestly, I mean, and Tim Boyle, let's face it, like 50% completion rate, the interception, took some sacks.
Yes,
he wasn't amazing.
No,
he was better than Tommy DeVito, but
absolutely,
yeah. And then maybe when you saw Tommy DeVito suck in practice, like that report we went 0 for 17, maybe you do start thinking, oh, Tim Boyle, but yeah. As for, I'll just. We'll talk about the game, I guess, a little bit. The stats, Malik Neighbors is now over 900 yards. Got another touchdown. And that was like the first passing touchdown since Daniel Jones, like week. Whatever.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember when that was news. And that was the first time that Daniel Jones to a receiver.
In like over 2 years. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. But hey. Thank God. And I'm not going to lie, that like it was a catch, but it was like it could have been, I think once it was already ruled a catch,
I don't think
too much. Yeah. There was no overturning. It was that close. But it was a beautiful grab. And dude, Malik made some awesome grabs today, dude. Like I love Malik Neighbors. I am happy. He seems like he really is a competitor. Like he seems like his heart is in the right place. Like he seems focused. He doesn't seem like a diva, quote unquote. Brian Burns had a nice sack. That puts him at 8 on the year. Hopefully he breaks. Like right now, I'm just looking at the benchmarks for my players. Like, let's have a 10 sack player. Let's have a 1,000-yard receiver for the first time since OBJ. Also, I think it's like the third time that maybe for the Giants ever that a rookie duo got 1,000 yards from scrimmage, because Tyron Tracy is also on pace for 1,000 yards from scrimmage. He had a pretty rough day. Drops. He's been, for somebody who is a converted wide receiver, he struggles with drops. Like he has been, which is maybe why they're like, hey, if you want to make it in the NFL, you got to be a running back because I don't know. And he just, on the ground, both him and Devin Singletary averaged 3.1 yards per carry. But of course they have to get, like, dude, I'm getting so pissed because I got Tyrone on my fantasy squad too. And like, this is how like stupid of a fan is. Was first off, like, I don't really care about winning that much. I want to see competitive. Like I like seeing touchdowns, especially when we're down past the 16.5 spread, which I know some people that bet for the Giants in that spread. Sorry guys, I'm not gonna lie. Bad decision. You know who you are.
Sean's not refunding you either.
No. I didn't. Dude, I didn't touch that, dude. I did have a Tyrone Tracy rushing yards over, and that looked good in the beginning of the game. And then
what was that number?
Dude, I think it was like 43.5 or something, 43.5. Yeah, it was actually pretty low.
They know. Vegas. They know.
Oh, yeah, they know, dude, too. Yesterday, I was like, nobody cares about my bets, but yeah, I did a lower over-under for the Packers-Seahawks, and I was 1 point away. 1 point away from like $150, so I was pretty pissed. Oh, my God. Yeah. That's okay. You know what? Nobody wants to hear about my degeneracy. But yeah, Malik Neighbors looks good. Micah McFadden still looks really good. Like I think that's like a good key spot. Like Bobby Okereke out for this season. Kind of wasn't like the elite player he was last year towards the end before he got injured. Yeah, but I think it was also like it. I have faith in him next year as well. I don't think he's going to pull a Devondre Campbell. Dory Jackson had a really nice forced fumble. That was exciting in the beginning of the game,
Yeah.
And our backup defensive tackles actually did a good job of, keeping Derrick Henry in check. This is 2 games in a row where that we actually surprisingly were able to keep an elite running back in check. So, I mean, he still almost averaged 5 yards a carry, but like he was stopped. It wasn't like he wasn't going crazy. And I said, dude, who tackled him? That oh man, it was one of our. I think it was Greg Stroman tackled him and was like, "What the hell, dude?" Like he could barely get up, man. He's a tiny guy. Rashad Bateman had a great day. Lamar Jackson, I don't know. Like this game, I don't even. It's like nobody cares about the Giants. The real thing is here, and I guess we don't want to be doing this every week, but do you think Brian Dabble and Joe Schoen are going to make it?
Is that a question to me?
That's a question to you. That's a question to you because I think that's what everybody. Dan Duggan was on Talking Giants earlier this week, and he said there's no way. And you know, he's in the locker room a lot. It's just you can't. And I don't think even with this record, it's and there's a lot of factors. I'll present you kind of the case that I've heard from a bunch of different people, and also some of my own opinions. Shane Bowen's not good. Mike Kafka's going to leave. So even if you have, you know, Brian Dabble come back, you're going to have to keep Shane Bowen because you can't lose both coordinators. Plus, I don't think people want to go under Brian Dabble. I think that they hear this stuff. Like he's had some friends in the league. He's been in the league for a while. I'm sure there's probably some coaches that are decent. Maybe somebody like Cliff Kingsbury could have like a renaissance, although he kind of called a bad game this week. But I don't know. I think I really wanted Dabble to stay. I really did. But honestly, it's because I want Joe Schoen gone more. And I feel like you can't just fire the GM.
Yeah.
Because trying to get a GM.
Yeah.
I think. And that's what the plan said, too. The plan said, enough is enough. We're not going to stop playing planes until you fire everybody, which I like. I like, dude. Keep it up, dude. Stay
the second play. Yeah, the play they did yesterday was funny. They really reiterated. I think both are fired. I think Joe Schoen. I think Joe Schoen's really, really bad if he gets GM. It's hard. Don't get me wrong. Not an easy job. He's just not good at it. He has bits and pieces too. Maybe sometimes
the trades have been decent. I think the trades have been
good,
nice,
which helps, and you consider it. Everybody loved the mind he was coming from. He's just not good enough for his job. And then there's so much on 4K too that just
players hate him. The players don't like him.
That's the ultimate reason why you fire him. I mean, I guess being so bad at your job too is such a high. But like, if the players hate him, you can't keep him. So
some players aren't going to want to stick around because of that.
Yeah.
And players aren't going to want to come here because of that.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. And I think Hard Knocks honestly was detrimental to this whole thing too. I think if I didn't see Hard Knocks, I might have a different opinion on him. But seeing the way he was operating, seeing the way he was even talking about like potential free agents, like his cases just seemed like less informed than me or you. You know, like I don't know, like what are you watching, man? And I think his whole thing is process. And like Dave Gettleman had magnets and stuff, and Joe Schoen went in there and he like revitalized, like you saw on Hard Knocks. I think that's why they wanted to be on Hard Knocks secretly. I think that they wanted to show off their sick boardroom that Joe Schoen helped design with all like the cool computers. But guess what? Now the next GM will probably be like, oh, this is a sick boardroom I can walk into. Don't have to worry about revitalizing. You know, it's set up for the next guy. So Joe Schoen did that. Good, thank you. Good riddance.
Yeah, but I think Dabble's gone too ultimately as well. I think that if you're a Giants fan, you're still holding on to hope that you're going to develop the next Josh Allen. I get it. I totally get it. I just don't think it's there. I think we've seen enough. Yeah, he hasn't been able to pick his quarterback. A lot of coaches don't too, but like even with what he's been given, just so overwhelming. I get that Daniel Jones is limited as a quarterback. We can see it every week. Try to mix it up a little bit with him, just moving the ball in different ways, in easier ways, in smaller ways. Yeah, I think he's gone. I think they just restart everything, which should be good. Assuming you get, there's just
you gotta get the right guy again. I don't want to, dude. I can't deal with another Joe Schoen or Joe Judge or another.
There's just too much losing between those two to bring back. There's too much like garbage that's gone on, but by with both of them have been in. Maybe not all of it their fault, but like something new. It doesn't hurt, you know.
Yeah, I don't know where we're gonna go though. If we go like, you wanna know who I? This is my coach at least. GM, like honestly, like I don't know too many people that know
Right,
anything about. Like it's not out there yet. I don't even know who's available. Probably
right.
somebody that's coming from a good front, like somebody in the Rams
Oh yeah,
office. Anybody who in that scouting department because they have been. They said F the draft picks, and I guess somebody must have come in there and was like, actually, there's some pretty good players we can get in like the
yeah.
second and third round, and they have been
Toby
nailing
Turner.
those picks.
Yep,
Dude, Puka Nakua,
yep.
Kobe Turner, Braden Fix, Jared. Yeah, I mean, they're all their rookies right now are just killing it. Kyron Williams too, which is
Yep.
Jameson Williams' cousin. I don't know if you saw that this week.
I
That's
didn't
kind of
know that.
crazy. Yeah, first cousin.
Interesting.
Weird. Yeah,
I,
but
I wanted I wanted Kyron for the Eagles later rounds. I didn't think he would be the running back he is. Like, don't get me
yeah.
wrong, I didn't think he'd be this good, but like, yeah. Uh, let me see.
I
Maybe
also saw that. Oh yeah, well,
no,
I don't know
go
if we're
ahead.
going to go to Rams
No,
tangent.
no, I
But
want to hear it. I want to hear it.
no, I saw that he was like he met Steven Jackson back in the day. Like he was a Rams fan growing up, so I
Mm,
thought that was kind of cool too. The St. Louis Rams.
interesting.
Steven Jackson, one of my favorite players.
Huge,
Continue.
huge running back. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was always good too. Um, Ben Johnson, is that your head coach you'd like?
Oh yeah, he's not coming to the Giants, dude. He wouldn't even go to
I know,
Washington. Well, Washington arguably had a worse roster than we did, but a
but
budget cap, you kind of do what you wanted.
Had a great cap space, had new ownership, and had a lot going for them there,
And I'll tell you
which
this
is why he
too.
should have taken the job.
Yes, and also had a really good like quarterback right there for you to take in Jaden Daniels. Maybe he just
Oh yeah,
didn't like. I don't know.
true.
I like Liam Cohen. I'm trying to be realistic here. Like Liam Cohen from the Bucks.
Okay,
I know Dave Canales. He's OC 1 year, goes to the Panthers. You've seen some
Canales has
good
picked
things
it
from
up.
him,
Yeah, yeah.
but Liam Cohen is like picked up right where Dave Canales left off, and I think the Bucks offense looks even better this year, honestly. So I like him. He's an offensive mind because then you don't deal with the whole like what the Bucks are doing when you have Todd Bowles as your head coach. You lose Dave Canales, and they probably will lose Liam Cohen to some team, whether it be the Giants or not. Because I think he is probably one of the hottest attainable candidates, especially with Ben Johnson not wanting to leave. I know
Yeah.
Aaron Glenn, I really like him, the defensive coordinator. With all these injuries in Detroit, like he's still great. Everybody says they love him. Leader of
Yep.
men,
His name's
very
been up there.
respected. Yeah.
Yep.
So I'd like that. Hey, first time with a black quarterback and first time with a black coach. And then guess what? If you really want a little bit of white in there, get Cam Scatterbo in the second or third. Like I guess I pair him up with Tyrone Tracy, man. Although that's not our biggest need, but okay. But yeah, anything else? I mean, we don't have to talk about. There's no real news here.
I mean, I'll say it. I'll try to keep Giants fans happy. Losing
Yeah.
is the goal. Great situation. I mean, the fact being able to get someone like Travis Hunter. Oh my God. I
Do you think
that would
that'd be
would be.
better than Cam Ward?
I think so as a player.
I
Yeah.
mean, I think yeah, he's definitely the
Yeah.
best prospect.
I think
I mean,
I think he's a more sure thing to be a better player too. Because
oh yeah,
if you part of me gets it because I look at the quarterbacks in this class, it's like, wow, there's not anybody who's like really awesome at everything in a way. Although I think
yeah,
Sanders is kind of there. I just get the whole personality thing, especially in New York, which weighs it
yeah.
down. But yeah, I just want more of a sure thing at quarterback, or at least a quote unquote sure thing.
Do
I
you
don't
think
know.
Justin Fields flyer, or do you pay? Because I think Darnold's getting big money.
Justin Fields flyer is not a bad idea for the Giants for next year. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why that's
Yep.
also a big argument for why you have to clear house because Joe Shane and Brian Dable have to draft a quarterback if they are still there. That's the only reason why they're still there because they're like, oh, we have
Right.
to get our quarterback.
Here's your this is the
Guess
year.
what?
Yeah.
You're not going to get you could have had Justin Fields last year. You could have had Russell Wilson last year.
Yep.
And I don't know. I've been saying this since it happened. Really, I mean, it's just.
If they are getting a filler, Fields is a great option for the Giants. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly at this point would rather get Darnold because I think that he's better at least getting the ball to our superstar like Malik Neighbors. I want
Yeah.
somebody who could get the ball to Malik,
Yeah.
and play hard. I don't even know. Maybe Jameis too if he's available. Honestly, I'd almost rather have Jameis as a filler than Justin Fields. But
Yeah. Jameis, you can't go as a short term guy. Jameis is awesome, sure.
Yeah, especially like when you're like, dude, when you have you're not expecting to win, but you want to see some fun, and Jameis
Yep.
brings the fun. So,
Yeah.
you know,
He'll
yeah.
throw the ball, yeah.
But I don't know. I do really like Cam Ward. I like how he's gotten better each year. We're not in draft season, but I do want to give my little spiel on Cam Ward.
Yes.
Which all those players that aren't in the college football playoff are playing their bowl game. I think this is my theory. It's because their NIL deals, it's tied into there, like, hey, if we're giving you this much money to play here, like they're like, no, I don't want to leave the team like we did. I'm like, no, I think no, I think you're playing it because of something more than that. Because
probably,
because like the risk of injury and falling down boards, like you're already there.
Yeah, I guess
think that might have to do with NIL.
They'd probably have to be reimbursed. The NIL would probably have to be worth it though for them to play in that game ultimately. Plus, in some ways too, I bet NIL doesn't really care about these bowl games that aren't really that people drop out of because so. But I don't know. Interesting idea. I'd have to be worth it.
I don't know, but Cam Ward is playing that bowl game, and I'm looking forward to watching him play in that bowl game.
I thought it was good to see Neighbors play well. I think there have been several weeks this year where not his fault with the quarterback situation, but have been a little bit of downer weeks in production and drops or whatever.
Drops, yeah. Good. He did it, but then he makes such acrobatic, like crazy catches too. And while draped in coverage, like
I'll give Boyle credit too. There were a few passes. I think one of Neighbors in the end zone that was well defended. Not the best ball because it wasn't. It probably should have been more towards the sideline, but some good shots too that it was defended. But it was kind of refreshing to see a quarterback give some fades to Neighbors in the end zone, even though they weren't the best throws. As much as I think Neighbors has been playing well. I think, and he's still a late round pick and still, I think, has a future. But with Tyrod Tracy, I think just have to figure out how to implement him in the best way. And if it is going to be a starting back, hopefully he's not giving you 3.1 yards on double-digit carries. Now he only but so something to monitor.
He had some good runs. I think that average is more so. He got stopped a couple times. I think he had a couple runs, and that's because like they were just bursting through there. Like the Ravens have a great front. They have a really great front still. They still got Matabuke. I forgot what he changed his name to, his first name, but and Owe and all them. But
Justin.
No, it was Justin Matabuke, and then they changed. It's
right.
Yeah, it's a lot of letters. Which I apologize, Matabuke. But dude, I'll tell you what though, the Ravens, even though they put up 35 on us, and I saw like this Ravens fan at halftime posted on like the Giants like whatever posted. It was like, hey, Ravens fan here, you guys are lucky you're only losing by 14. I'm like, dude, you're a dork, because you guys aren't even playing that good. They really they put on 35 on us, but like I don't know, this Ravens team has not looked as good as they have in the past. But I mean, Lamar Jackson with 5 passing touchdowns. I mean, that was
holy smokes! It almost threw that was a showing.
Yeah,
and they still the team ran the ball for I think at least 160 yards. So yeah, I don't know. They're good team, but defense I think is missing this.
Yeah, I agree.
They've got some
penalties, dude. They had so many penalties. Yep. The amount of like pass interference on Neighbors that were blatant too. Darius Slayton too. They had pass interference on. Eyes to the face, like hands to the face mask. Yeah, I mean, they are right. Like we were lucky to only be losing as much as we did because, dude, the refs not just like they were valid penalties, but yeah, I mean we would have lost by a lot more if not for some of those penalties. So, thanks, refs.
Thank you, refs.
I think that's enough for a bad team. Let's move on to Commanders Saints.
Sure.
All right, yeah. The Washington Commanders went to New Orleans and won 2019, but barely because once Zestfest Jake Hayner got benched at half, Spencer Rattler, more like Spencer the Rizzler with Darren Rizzi as his head coach, lit it up and his numbers weren't all that good, but he definitely was a lot better at operating the offense and
completion for
almost
yards. I think is decent, but yeah,
yeah,
the completion percentage not good. Yes.
yeah. But also, I mean, the defensive backs played very well for the Commanders, which is something that we haven't been able to say for a while. Mikey Sandersill had one interception that was against Hayner and almost got another one against Hayner. Looked really good. And then in Marshawn Lattimore's first game, wasn't even targeted once. So that's great coverage. Also, maybe the Saints being like, we know how good he is, and like we don't want to give him any satisfaction.
Especially with the quarterback situation that they were throwing out there.
Yeah. But yeah, there was Ed Hockley, the referee, did say that whoever was in charge of the stoppage, messed up because they gave the Saints an extra 5 seconds at the end there to almost win the game, which they ultimately lost. Not gonna lie, I didn't love the play call or the decision by Spencer Rattler on the 2-point conversion, but it is what it is. But we were talking about Commanders here. Jeremy Chin looked good. Dorrance Armstrong looked good. A lot of these budget players, which has been kind of the case all season, looked really, really good. Jerzon Newton, I saw that he was the highest graded defender. I think that was because of his pressure rate. He didn't, his stat wise, didn't really put anything up, but he was, there should be, well, I guess I heard Mike Tirico say this yesterday, but like there should be an assist on sacks in the NFL, but I guess it's like just the pressures, you could say. But I think there should be assists because there's a lot of times that like there's a guy that leads him into another guy, and the sack really was responsible because of.
I would not be opposed to that stat unless you just emphasize that pressures are led to sacks. But yeah, give it its own stat. I agree.
Statistic.
Just to changing the subject a little, you know another stat I think they should track in the NFL?
I know you love this one.
First
downs. They do have first downs on if you go on Pro Football Reference. So
I'm sure they do. I'm sure there's some sites that track them. I want third downs. I want first downs. I want first downs off of third downs. Yeah, I think that would be interesting. I could get some guys paid probably even. But yes, alas, continue with Washington.
Yeah. Dude, Terry McLaurin looks great. Jaden Daniels, honestly, was awesome. Like running the ball, passing the ball.
Good balance.
Good, yeah. I mean, there was the 4th and 1 play. I don't know if you saw that, Jeremy, where they can't do the tush push like you. Jaden Daniels, he's a toothpick. They can try to slide him through the line maybe, but not fucking push the line with him. But he he almost gets sacked for like -5 yards. That I don't like the decision to drop back like that, but I think that was the play call. Shimmies, gets to first down, and that was that's why Jaden Daniels is special. That's why he honestly, there's some people saying he could have been the number 1 pick over Caleb Williams, but I just think the Caleb Williams, you couldn't have gone against it going into the draft last year, I think.
Yeah, I think better coaching will help Caleb Williams too. We've seen it. We've seen him play.
Yeah.
We've seen him play well with bad coaching. We've seen him play pretty well with decent coaching last few weeks. Yeah, but that's what you get with Daniels. He's a guy who can make when in trouble can get out and make a play, and that's what every NFL team is looking for on a decently consistent basis. If you are able to do that, you're going to have a successful team in the wins column. So yeah, that's an example of a little improvising, a little unplanned, getting out of trouble, and that happens a lot in the NFL because the other teams try to beat you too. So, yep.
Yeah, I do. I like I do like a scrambling quarterback.
Oh yeah,
and one of the knocks.
That's the flavor of the year for the NFL.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, a guy like Sam Darnold, I don't think anybody, even though he's been playing great this year, and I think Vikings fans maybe want to keep him, but I don't think any team is like, yeah, let's pay Sam Darnold $40 million a year after like one really great year.
Yep.
I feel like that's how you get the Nick Foles. That's how you get.
Yep.
I mean, Philly
the
great, but still,
it's just not as. You need guys to be mobile. You need guys to improvise and get yards other ways. That's why like Jalen Hurts still does a good job of it. He's not even that special anymore. Like because more guys are doing it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean it's nuts, and like, yeah, Jaden Daniels, man, the Commanders. I'll tell you what, the fact that they almost did let the Saints come up, and that's the play calling that I think is in question. You know, when they had that lead going into the second half, and then
Yep.
not being able to really just destroy them. You know, not just the defense letting up. I mean, they really only let up 19 points in a half, which isn't great, but it's not terrible. Or no, they let up what? Yeah. Oh yeah, 19 points. Yeah, they didn't score in the
Yeah.
first half at all. But I don't know. And dude, there was some sick plays that Alvin Kamara, Cedric Wilson pass, which I think Alvin Kamara is hurt too. I was looking at. They don't really know exactly what's going on, but that was some sick play calling.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely a good game by the Commanders. But like I said, with that, they had some things fall in their favor. It looks like their playoffs are almost like confirmed at this point. Things could obviously go wrong. They have a really tough matchup next week against the Eagles, but they don't seem like a team that I'm expecting to win more than one game in the playoffs. And if they win one game, it's going to be one of those like, holy crap, like everything was executed, everything was right. Jaden Daniels was on fire, It's going to be one of those, because I don't think their team is good enough for Jaden Daniels to have a poor performance to win a game.
I guess it depends. I agree with that. It depends on the matchup. If they somehow are able to squeak out, it depends on where they're seated. I guess if they finish best wild card,
but they're not. I mean, they're not going
to too. Yeah, I don't see. Yeah, strong team to have at the bottom of a wild card, but just need a little more experience, I think.
Yeah, because I think the Seahawks are actually out. They lost their spot now to the Rams. So I think it's the Rams and the Seahawks that are competing to take that spot from Washington. And the Seahawks play well. They didn't play a great game last night, but also Geno got hurt. So Sam Howell. I did want to say that. Sam Howell, dude, played. Yeah, Sam Howell, man. Did we talk a lot of crap about you last year? But I love betting on your passing overs because you pass the ball a lot.
They hit every time they played the Eagles.
Yeah, every time, dude.
450 every time against us.
Dude, whenever I would do the stats, dude, I would see that it was like the same amount of attempts as the week before. That's why I was like, wait a second, I'm onto something here. It's always like 44 attempts.
Yep.
And the over-under was like at 35. I'm like, take it.
They threw a lot. That game was on here, and of course, and at first he looked a little squishy running, maybe, but he didn't look comfortable throwing. I guess they didn't do much, but yeah,
he was getting sacked though. The Green Bay line, and they destroyed Geno too. I mean, that's what ultimately
got him hurt.
Led to his injury. Yeah,
that little foot thing.
Yeah, yeah, rough. Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about with these Commanders?
I think you're looking for this team to build off of this season, and then which will be tough because more teams will be sort of gunning for them. But they do. It comes down, like you said, it comes down to the quarterback, and they have the quarterback. So use some money in the off season. They're still in it, of course, but it doesn't seem like it's coming as easy. I guess a team like the Saints that you wouldn't think would come down to the very end. But yeah, tough one for them next week.
Cool.
But they got them to 9 wins. Imagine that. 9 wins for the Commanders, Sean.
Yeah, I think they still get 10. I think we looked at their schedule last week, but I mean, dude, they could beat the Eagles. But like the Falcons are falling apart. Mm-hmm. And the Cowboys, I don't know. The Cowboys are definitely playing a lot better, but we'll get to them in a second. But Trayvon Diggs being out for the year is it's a brutal one. I did want to say Tyler Biadasz, who's been playing really well for them, former Cowboy.
Yes.
He had an illness, so he didn't get to play, and they noticed that. Michael Dieter was their backup center, and I saw a lot of tweets. People were like, "This guy shouldn't be on a roster. He sucks." But hey, at least it was just an illness. So Biadasz should be back, especially. They're going to need him next week with a very dominant front in Philadelphia. So, but they also were talking about how Allegretti was pretty garbage too. The guard that they signed from the Chiefs that everybody was kind of questioning in the first place. So yeah, that interior is still struggling. And then Brandon Coleman, the third-round pick that they have starting at left tackle. Plays all right, but I feel like he might be a weakness. That's why it's good to have Jaden, mobile in all this. But yeah, that's it. You want to talk about these Cowboys, and we'll finish up with the last game.
Sure.
Yeah. So Dallas goes to Carolina, and they bring Bryce Young's hot streak to a halt, winning 30-14. I think there was 5 total turnovers for the Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Two strip sacks, 3 interceptions, or 2 interceptions. Oh, so maybe 4. Yeah, one of the strip sacks was Maris Luafau, so that's good. Maris Luafau, everybody was talking garbage about him. I wonder who was talking garbage about him. We were. But he's actually been stepping up, especially with Overshown out for maybe a whole year. But he looked good. And the other linebacker that they signed, the aged vet, Eric Hendricks, had a really nice interception too, off of a Jordan Lewis tip. And Osa Odigizua had a nice strip sack in there too. And it says he only had 1 sack, but I think he had 2 with that strip sack. But regardless. And then Micah Parsons obviously was he's back into a prime Micah Parsons. He did have a comment that resurfaced, though, that maybe he'll follow Dan Quinn to Washington. And I feel like there's been a lot of speculations about Dallas parting ways with Micah Parsons, especially investing in Dak and CeeDee Lamb. So
yeah.
But anything you want to talk about with this game, Jeremy?
Dowdle actually averaged 6 yards a carry, 25 runs for 149. Good week for him. I still don't think he's very good. So if that makes Dallas pay him or whatever, make him the feature back next year, so be it. CeeDee Lamb.
I'll say this on the Rico Dowdle thing, because I know that you love hating on Rico Dowdle. I do too, kind of. I do too. But I like how he has emerged. The past 3 weeks, he's broken his rushing record 3 weeks in a row. So he's getting better. I do have to say, the Panthers' run defense has been garbage ever since
that helps for sure.
Yeah, I like Tyrone Tracy also rushed for 150 yards against Carolina in Germany. But yeah, continue.
CeeDee Lamb had a CeeDee Lamb game. Cooper Rush 3 touchdowns, nothing crazy with the yardage, but they moved the ball, still being able to throw for 3 touchdowns. Obviously, we've seen teams have difficulties, different points of the field in throwing the ball, especially red zone in with throwing the ball, not much space back there. So that's, Cooper Rush is showing that maybe he can be a legit backup quarterback, I guess.
Yeah.
They're not.
He did last year too, like when he had to.
They're not beating. I don't think they've beat a good team with this quarterback play. But again, that's asking for a lot. The Zeke Elliott experiment is stupid.
Yeah, dude, he shouldn't even be getting it. I mean, I guess if you got to spell Rico Dowdle, but
I do credit. I think smart on Dallas to throw the ball 29 times, probably where you want to be, and they ran the ball 34, 36, 40 times. That's a brilliant ratio, in my opinion. With that's smart. That's probably throwing a little more than you should, but you can't. At least they're sticking to the run. Panthers. I'll be honest. Panthers came into this game hot. I think the record isn't that good, but over the last 6 weeks, 2 months, they've been playing good football. Probably had a top 15 offense in the NFL in that time span. Defense not great. But you play teams at different points. Obviously, sometimes you play teams that are hot in the beginning of the season, then they stink. And that maybe it takes teams longer to get. And they're looking like a better team for sure all around. And they definitely not put the candle out for the rest of the season, but for this game at least, Dallas handed it to them, which is it's interesting because if you're Dallas, I think you'd want to this year's a wash. All the injuries, all the coaching, everything they've decided, it's all been a disaster.
They're still in the hunt, dude.
Yeah, I guess technically, they're not out, but
that's crazy, dude. If they actually beat the Bengals, man. they would actually have
would have
a
been interesting.
very good shot because right now
Yeah.
they're 3 games back. They would have been 2 games back from the playoffs.
Well, you're right. It would have been interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're, I mean, I guess you can't just lose if you're not out, especially when you're playing bad team or like baddish teams like
Yeah.
Carolina.
And Mike McCarthy wants to still be the coach next year.
Oh, he wants to coach, absolutely. So I get it on his part. It's and I guess Jerry Jones isn't that intelligent where he'll just look at it as a W and be happy. But long term wise, if you're a fan, I don't know. It's like this season has been so brutal for that fan base. It's like and they beat a team like Carolina end of the year to put their record at 6-8.
Yeah, I don't know where they are in take it.
I don't know. It's just again, I get it. You can't like just lose, but like maybe with this team you do because they're just not that good. And it's mid-December. You sort of know your fate. But it's just interesting seeing them. I was checking the score right before the Eagles game in the stadium. It's at 30-14 final. I go, wow, that does not help Dallas long term. But alas, they win. Played well in Carolina.
And their run defense, run defense again.
Yes, that was great. I was going to mention
Hubbard. Yeah,
Hubbard's a really nice running back. I think he's how would I grade him? I think he's not elite, but
he's very the money
solid,
they just gave
very
him
solid to very good. I think he's a nice back, and he only had 10 touches, which is huge, and only ran the ball for 32 yards. That's big. The Eagles weren't awful against Hubbard, but he had a good game against the Eagles. I mean, he had a lot of runs for 6-7 yards. It's just like
he had his best game ever against the Giants.
Yes, I bet.
Yeah.
So
that was right after they paid him too.
So they shut him down. Right? Yeah, he got a nice little contract. And
I think it's like the 7 to 9 million a year. It's nothing crazy, but good for
pretty good though. I mean,
Hubbard, yeah.
But that's on the high end too. I mean, what is it? Saquon's making what 12, 13. So if you put it in that, but that's towards.
I think he's going to change that. I think Saquon and all these running backs, but that's a conversation for another day. But Dallas has fallen to 14th, and they are behind the Bengals in the draft. And I know that the Bengals have been linked to Ashton Ginty, as with the Cowboys. I don't even know if that's this running back draft is one of the deepest ever. So I still don't think even a first round for Ashton Ginty. I think he's awesome. I think he's amazing. This is some guy who wanted Saquon at second with all that stacked quarterback class.
Right.
So things have changed since then. But I become more of a fan that actually wants to win and grow. Yeah, wiser. That was a very low point for the Giants too, and I just was sick of seeing Paul Perkins, and I was like, you know what, I want to have somebody exciting right now. I
get it. Listen, I get it. It's
and dude, Ginty. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of Cowboys fans that do want Ginty, even with Rico Dowdle's renaissance right now. But I think the renaissance actually does help. Maybe somebody like Jerry be like, okay, we can get a second rounder and keep Dowdle in there, rotationally.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting point. With they need to, because they didn't have a plan with the running back. They brought in Zeke Elliott early on because
and Dalvin Cook, more like Dalvin cooked.
His brother is definitely not cooked. I will say that.
Yeah, James is awesome.
James is making some moves.
Dude, what's up with the Bills too? I don't know if that game. Dude, Ty Johnson and I think James Cook were like their leading receivers. Like Joe Brady is doing some weird stuff. Like also Ty Johnson, and it wasn't like dink and dunks. Like Ty Johnson had a bunch of like deep crossers that I was like very intrigued by. Oh, that's somebody. Let's take from the Bills again, Giants. Let's get Joe Brady. That
would be a good hire.
He's young.
I like
Joe.
Yeah.
Especially with a Josh Allen MVP season right now, and honestly, like the wide receiver situation being pretty questionable in Josh Allen having a MVP type season. I honestly, if I'm the Giants, I think Liam Cohen, Joe Brady. I like guys like Aaron Glenn, like I said, but
hard to go
the offensive guy.
Yeah. Brady was awesome at LSU. He's been great with the Bills too for a few years now. That'll be a good hire. Yeah.
He was bad in Carolina for that 1 year.
Yes.
But
also Carolina. So
yeah,
tough situation.
I think that was the Sam Darnold Baker year, I believe. I don't know. I don't think that.
It's kind of funny too because both of them have like bounced back after the so it could be a Carolina. I don't know.
Yeah.
Could be a Carolina thing.
Yeah. Let's get into your Philadelphia Eagles, the game you were at.
Yes.
The Battle of Pennsylvania. The Steelers go to the link and they stink. 13-27. Eagles win. Jeremy, take it away.
Well, the Eagles, just a better team than the Steelers on paper, on the field. It's not that close. Steelers have a very good defense. They stopped the run very well, which I think was a big game plan for them. The Eagles threw the ball this week. We heard all the noise about, Jalen not letting it fly, and they certainly did this week. I think Jalen had 250 yards passing, 2 touchdown throws. It just looked a lot better through the air. It didn't help the Steelers that it seemed like they were either in cover 1 and just didn't have any they didn't do much cover 2. There wasn't much safety help, which I thought was odd. AJ Brown was living off of slants for the entire game. Quarterbacks like Dante Jackson, who needed to make a tackle in the open field against some wide receivers, against Kenny Gainwell a few times, whiffed to get first downs that led to touchdowns the next play or two. Yeah, wild game. And of course, maybe the lead. Eagles get the ball with 10.5 minutes left, 21 plays. That's the end of the game. They moved down the field. I don't think I've ever seen a drive for 21 plays without a score ultimately, but obviously the time ran out. They could have scored if they wanted to. Few mistakes. Jalen fumbled the ball early on. Not the worst thing if he's doing it early in the games. The big issue is the Eagles. I mean, you still don't want the turnover. I'm not going to condone the turnover. But obviously, timing kind of helps in some ways, in a lot of different ways, I think. Then Cooper DeJean, the boy wonder we all love, fumbled it on a punt return. On the next possession, the Eagles would have had the ball back. Can't happen.
How was the stadium in that play, dude? Were they booing Cooper, or were they like
no boos?
No!
He's still the child of the city for now. Year 2, maybe it's different. Maybe the rookies were a little delicate with.
Dude. Yeah, you guys are changing your dude. Get a little soft over there, dude. You're eating sake cheese sticks, man.
Fan base. But that's something when he fumbled it. Like that's like it's tough too because like after the Jalen fumble, it's like I would think that everybody kind of would be walking on eggshells where it's like can't turn it over. Anything you do, just don't turn it over. Turn it over immediately again. Help Pittsburgh get some good field possession, of course, score a little bit. Eagles go up 17-3 in the second, down to 17-13 to go into halftime. Eagles get the ball back, score a field goal to open the half. And the Steelers only had 2 drives in the second half. Had the ball for 5 minutes, 2 drives, and that's it. And that's how you win football games. It's a great way to win a football game. It's the way the Eagles try to win games a lot. In the story, the Eagles had like 17 points going in the first quarter all this year combined. Added 10 yesterday. Good to see them scoring. Allowed them to kill the clock at the end when you have points early on. It was nice too because not giving the ball back to Pittsburgh, a team that even though Pittsburgh wasn't moving the ball, they just weren't. I don't think they were up for the Eagles' defense yesterday. But even if they did, you still don't want to keep giving them the ball back, giving them chances necessarily. Even though the Eagles played pretty solid defense, the Eagles just didn't do it and just held the ball for 10.5 minutes in the game. Pretty impressive there. What was I going to say?
Run defense was good. Najee Harris. Well, they also didn't run the ball like at all. But Najee Harris was stopped. A lot of CPAT. Man, I've loved Cordero Patterson. He looks thick, dude. I don't know if you could see it from where you were in the stands, but like when I saw him watching,
looks a little bigger. It's funny too. He would chase down I think he had one return, and they took it
Yeah.
out to close to the 35. I'm like, all right, let's not kick to him. He still probably has that magic. He would
Yeah.
then, if it would hit the end zone, he would then chase the ball to. It was obviously going to be a touchback, but he would make sure to get the ball and knee it. I thought the rule was if it hit the end zone, it's dead on the kicker, but maybe not. It was just
I
weird.
don't know with the new one. I
Yeah,
feel
I'm
like
not.
also like it might be a coaching thing too.
Yeah,
I'm
maybe.
pretty sure the Steelers special team coordinator is like an old dude. I'm trying to remember.
Yes.
But I remember watching the Giants game and he's like a very respected.
Yes, I
Uh,
think if it's the same guy I'm thinking of, he used to be with the Eagles, and he's a good guy. Yeah, he's a good
yeah.
coach. Um, yeah, I mean, listen, Steelers have a really really nice defense for sure.
Mm.
Offensively, I think they're challenged without Pickens, but you still have to play the game. I thought secondary was great. I would have loved a little more pressure on Russell Wilson, but that picked up, I guess, towards as the game went on. He also missed a few throws early on, which helped. Jalen was great, best game of the season. Great game throwing. In some ways, I think they even overcompensated on the throw, but they
No,
weren't.
I mean that was awesome though. Like,
Yeah, I mean they threw the
that's
ball
what you want.
32 times. It's a team that you want to do that against because I don't think the Steelers secondary is that good, and their ability to stop the run is pretty solid. So it was just interesting seeing them instead of opportunities where they could run clock and probably get the first with their feet. They were doing slants with AJ Brown, and it's like good. That should be easy. Like do that more often going forward. Weird that Tomlin punted with 10 and a half minutes left, down 14 to the Eagles. I also didn't think Tomlin used his timeouts well at the end. I thought the way the drive was going, the way the Eagles were sort of punching the ball to get first downs every 2-3 plays at a consistent rate, I thought he would have used his timeouts around the 5-minute mark, maybe. He didn't and waited, which I thought was silly because they still had all their timeouts, but then the Eagles were in field goal territory. So even if the Eagles weren't able to get the first downs, they still probably would have been able to comfortably kick for the field goal. Only a few minutes left, no timeouts for Steelers, and they would have been down 3 scores. I thought that was odd on his part. He also didn't accept a penalty that would have made it first and 30, and then the Eagles got a 22-yard first down off of Devontae Smith, which I think led to a touchdown.
Yeah.
The Eagles just played. Look at the stats. They doubled their yardage on the Steelers. Time of
Still
possession.
didn't run well on the Steelers, but the Steelers have a really good run defense.
Yes,
Tyrone
and I
Tracy
think
ran well.
they ran. I'll give them this between Saquon still had 75 yards of total offense. I thought he had some timely first downs. There's where the first down stat comes in. I thought he had a few other runs that were very productive too, and when they happened in timing. I think Jalen's ability to run for that long run, be active as well. Kenny Gainwell in the passing game was a nice little supplement that helped move the offense and sort of clinch some first downs and field possession and end of game stuff. Made guys miss, and that's what Kenny Gainwell just comes down to him. Put the ball in his hands and have someone.
There's a lot of Gainwell, dude.
Yeah,
10 touches, like that's a lot of Gainwell.
Yeah, I mean it's they had a few times where they just gave him the ball in the open field off the pass, and they just said make a guy miss, and Dante Jackson missed a few tackles on him in open field. Just smart football in the Eagles. Great game. Yeah, it's a tough game for sure. A lot of passion. Pennsylvania game. I just thought
there was passion. The Darnell Washington, Darius Slay.
Yes.
What was the vibe in the stadium for that?
A lot of cursing. There's a lot of noise.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people. They don't know who it is. They'll yell out. They'll yell out, kick him out, kick Plaxico Burress out, or something like that, even though he hasn't played forever in Dexy or whatnot. But
Darnell Washington is a beast, bro. I mean,
he's big.
He just blocked blocked Darius Slay all the way like through the end zone.
Well, that's why.
No, go ahead. The penalty was on the Steelers, even though Darius Slay punched him.
Yeah, the issue I see with if the NFL, we've seen this before. We've seen this before with bigger guys just blocking cornerbacks during the preseason. We saw this before with the Eagles, way out of bounds after the play. That's really dangerous. They got to fix you can't have a guy like Darnell Washington blocking Darius Slay after the whistle for another 6 yards to the back of the end zone. Like, that's just a really dangerous thing.
I wonder if Darnell Washington is like, because he gets zero pass. I mean, like, he came out as a blocking tight end. He's essentially like a sixth lineman. But, I mean, he's still – I think he went in the second round, and I think there's a lot of hype about him. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember, he made that sick catch in the combine, too, which everybody was like, oh, no, I really want him. He can block it. He can make catches like this. But he has had no production in the NFL receiving.
Yeah, we'll see if they can develop. I think that was always going to be the difficult part. In today's game, though, sometimes the Eagles at the end of the game brought out Freddie Johnson as a sixth lineman. So I think there is a place for Washington. It's just tough. I think it's between the 10-yard line of the end zone, maybe even the 5, just because of running and whatnot. Yeah, got chippy, passionate game. TJ Watt looked like he had a brutal injury. It doesn't look like it's going to be much, which is good. You hate to see players of that talent, and he is a talent.
Yeah,
for sure.
And he had a good game too. Dude.
Yeah, he did. He played well. I thought Lane Johnson held up well against him. Looked like he could have had Achilles or ACL. I think he could just be questionable against the Ravens this week, but I think they might be. He might be good to go too eventually for that game.
Yeah.
So that's good. Good to know. He didn't get hurt. Eagles just another test to check off if you're the Eagles. Honestly, I think they have a lot.
I think that was the toughest game remaining on your schedule at this point.
Remaining on the schedule, I think so. Yeah. Steelers have done well. They've been. I think one of the best compliments you can give a team in the NFL is that they win and that they do a good job of consistently winning without having too many issues. And I think the Steelers are one of those teams. They've just collected a lot of wins this season, regardless of who they've played. So to have them come into Philadelphia and just, stymie them essentially on all phases besides the run game, really encouraging. Different team. Felt like a different Eagles team out there with how they threw the ball. I'm not kidding you. It just felt off in a good way. But
Saquon, the injury scare too. Like, I don't know if that was something.
Yeah,
you guys
it was weird too because the Eagles were on our sideline, and you see him with his helmet on, lined up on the sideline, like he's going to go in the second quarter. He's just not going in, and then we got the report saying that he's not hurt; he'll go in eventually. But it was, I think he was out for at least 10 minutes of the second quarter in game time.
Yeah,
and that was
people were tweeting because I was like, "Wait, what's going on with Saquon too?"
Right.
His fantasy production. I think that's what people were really pissed about.
No doubt. Some people had some wagers too. It hurt. Don't get me wrong. It hurt the team. Gainwell did an okay job with the run. Really, with the pass game, he was great. Gainwell with the pass game, he was great. But whenever you don't have him out there for a little bit, it's the offense. You're concerned about the offense. You're concerned it's going to stall. He's such a big piece with it, and they fortunately survived for sure.
Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about this Eagles team? It's a good game.
Defense, not as close of a game as the score would have, as the score showed. The Eagles obviously could have scored at the end at will. I think that the offense and special teams put the defense in a bad situation a few times, which led to some points. So I just think another productive game with the Eagles defense, and it was nice to see the offense reward them with a 10-minute drive, 10.5-minute drive down the game, and to have 40 minutes of the ball for the game overall, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it was dominant. I'm not to lie. I had that one on the smaller TV because I had a lot more fantasy players for the
completely understood
Lions. Actually, like, that's why I mean, dude, one of my teams racked this weekend, like 240 points, dude. Like,
well, that was the thing. The Bills were up 20 for the entire game, but they still weren't getting any stops. They were still getting points. So.
Yeah, but like, okay, this is something to talk about the Lions too. With that loss, they're also at 12-2, correct? 12-2. 12-2.
Same record as the Eagles, but they have a tiebreaker.
And the Vikings. Yes, they have the tiebreaker right now, but they also play the Vikings week 18.
Yeah,
and I don't know if the Vikings have a tiebreaker over you. That's my question.
I don't think they do.
So if the Vikings win that game, and you guys beat the Giants. I don't know if that's
Well,
possible.
if the Eagles sweep and
You still have to win out.
and
Yeah,
the
you have to
Lions,
sweep.
if the Eagles sweep and the Lions win every game except, I guess, who? The
The
Vikings?
Vikings, week 18.
Then that would be
But
the Eagles would be in,
yeah,
as
yeah,
a one.
for the 1 seed, yeah. So I mean that's what I love because I have all these Lions on my team, and especially now with David Montgomery out for the season, which sucks. You know, I guess Knuckles isn't coming, but I don't know. Knuckles is out. Maybe they'll get a Shadow or Tails.
Yeah.
I don't know. Bunch of Sonic references. I feel like they're getting paid by the movie franchise because that movie's coming out too. I think that's definitely something going on. But
It makes sense in this day and age if you can
yeah.
muster any endorsements.
But hey, Jahmyr Gibbs looks really good too. The Aleem McNeil thing, I think, is honestly almost a bigger hit because their
Then
defense has already taken so many hits than
what?
David Montgomery.
Yeah, the thing that makes it work though, if you have a guy like Goff, it's the same. The Eagles were doing it. The Lions were winning because they don't want to throw the ball that much with Goff because the more times they throw with him, they're going to lose ultimately, more or less.
I don't know, dude. He's good, dude. He's great.
Yeah,
plays. He's getting the ball to Tim Patrick like in great situations.
Might find a rhythm. He might find a rhythm here or there, but ultimately, and they're going to have to see because without Montgomery, they're probably going to have to throw the ball more. But their whole thing was limit his throws, split between Jahmyr and David Montgomery. It'll work perfectly. So it'll be interesting now with Montgomery out how that will transpire.
Hey, Ben Johnson, if you want to come to the Giants, we could have our own Sonic and Knuckles. Tyrone Tracy could be Sonic. Devin Singletary can be gone. And we can get that Caleb Johnson guy out of Iowa who's a bruiser, dude. Get him in there. And he could be our Knuckles, dude. That's just my pitch to you, Ben Johnson. You don't have to listen. But I'll send this to you separately. Yeah. I don't know if you can see it. Is this in frame? It's a little giant Super Bowl ornament. Man, those are the days.
Wow.
The Packers one right there, too, for Coral. Yeah. Got some good ornaments here. I also got a Sam Squanch. I don't know if you see that little Sam Squanch. Anyways, let's get into the fantasy.
Did they have DVDs back then when the last time the Giants won the Super Bowl?
What's up?
Did they have DVDs or are you watching on VHS?
Okay, dude.
That's actually.
I'm pretty sure there's Blu-ray discs and streaming at that time. I'm pretty sure, dude.
I'll tell you what. That's a Cowboys joke. So, I guess the Blu-ray. You guys popularized Blu-ray, sure.
Yeah, bleed Blu-ray. Anyways, me and Jeremy have a fantasy football best ball competition. All NFC East, half-point PPR, best quarterback, best 2 running backs, best 2 wide receivers, tight end, and a flex. Jeremy, I ask you this every week. What is your prediction for who won this week?
I don't think I won this week because Saquon not too busy. Jalen might have helped, but you had CD and AJ, which I think, I think
Malik.
And Malik too. So but yeah.
Yep, I already probably have them on the screen at this point, but yeah, Jaden Daniels was my quarterback, 23.64. Rico Dowdle, 14.9. Those are only rushing yards, no receptions there.
Unreal.
Which is, kind of interesting, but good for him. Devin Singletary, 11.6. AJ Brown, 21. CeeDee Lamb, 22.1. Jake Ferguson, 3.3. Yikes. And Malik Neighbors, 19.2, giving me a total of 115.74. And Jeremy, yours was Jalen Hurts, 28.1. Saquon Barkley, 8.4. Brian Robinson Jr., 10.2. Devonta Smith, 22.5. Terry McLaurin, 22.6. 8, maybe. 8 or 6, regardless. Daniel Bellinger, 5. Kenny Gainwell, 7.5. And that gives you a total of 104.5. So I beat you by over 10.
That's a shame because that's a pretty decent. I didn't think I put out a.
You did pretty good, dude.
I think I put out a triple-digit week, so that's disappointing.
Yeah, it's triple-digit and losing. Do you want to take a shot because you lost? That's what we've been doing, huh? You got a shot around here or no?
Yeah, I'll find something. Hold on.
Good. I got one for last week. Plus, I'm not doing anything after this. I don't have work, so I'm in my pajamas.
All right, let me see what I got here.
Let's see. In the meantime, we can talk. Oh, there we go. You're here. Oh, I didn't even realize you got the Eagles sweatshirt on, bro.
Yes.
You're rocking the Eagles pride, man.
Yes.
Show it off, dude. That's a nice one.
Thank you.
Dude, I'll tell you what, dude, the gear these days, man, they have been stepping up stylish gear to the point where, like, even, like, all of the main, like, American Eagle, Aeropostale, Hollister, PacSun, like, all of the clothing, they have sports collabs. It's like sports gear are in. You know, it's a good time, dude.
Yeah, they're trying to hit every demographic of fan. And they've, I guess it's easy enough with how wages, you know, how material just doesn't cost much and just get some designers in there. So, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I got some good shirts, dude. I'm waiting to get an iPad, but I got some stuff drawn up in my head that I just
there you go.
Get out here. But that would be really sweet. The thing is, the Giants too, dude. It's like the NY and the name, like there's not as many cool. You guys can have like some sick Eagle stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like the Commanders too. I guess they have like the pig. I guess the Giants need an animal. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yes, anyways, they need something. They need some kind of logo besides just the NY.
Yeah, the classic Giants I like. But here, cheers to you losing this week, and this is for me losing a bunch of other weeks. So
cheers. Yeah.
Oh. Smooth. Okay, cool. Let's preview next week. I think we should start off with the biggest game. A game that is big for both teams' seeding and just playoff dreams. The Philadelphia Eagles go to Washington, to FedEx, and play the Commanders. Do you already know the spread on this, or do you want to guess it?
I don't know.
What do you think it is?
I feel like this is going to be off.
That's okay.
They've always been off too. Eagles plus.
Yeah, you've been off. Oh, Eagles plus.
I'm
not spoiling anything.
No. Sorry. I think the Eagles will be favorites. Eagles minus 2.5 or Eagles minus 3. I'll go with 3 though.
Hey, you're spot on.
Really?
Eagles minus 3. Yeah, that was good. And I think that's a solid spread because I think this is going to be a competitive game. One-score game last time, although I think we've discussed this before. If you didn't know, even though it was a one-score game, the Eagles pretty much had it. It was one of those deceiving one-score games.
Yeah.
But it is at home, and home for the Commanders. Like I said, Bryce should be back. I think, my opinion, and I feel like this is the same as it was last time, except I think that Jaden Daniels actually is playing a little better. I feel like his connection with Terry McLaurin is even better. The Eagles' defense is amazing, and the offense is amazing, and especially the defensive front. And the Commanders' O-line, even though Bryce is having a good year, like your center to be your best lineman. Oh, well, he's not the best, the guard. Jesus, what's his name, dude? You know, Sam Cosmi.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, that's not ideal. I'm sure that they'll probably be double teaming Jalen Carter because he is a game wrecker. But then you also have Milton Williams, who's been playing extremely well this year, and Jordan Davis as well. But, you know, Jordan Davis, I feel like, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like has not been as effective as Milton Williams.
Milton's been amazing. He's had his best year so far this season in terms of sacks, pressures, probably stopping the run too. Davis has done a good job at stopping the run. Not overwhelming, but pretty good. Giving you some pressures, some penetration to move their offensive line backwards from the start. Yeah, Milton's been amazing, but Davis has been decent too. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Regardless. Not what you're looking for out of your 13th pick, but.
Yeah. I remember when that pick came in, dude. I gave you a lot of grief. And like I was like, we gotta have a deal. We gotta have a deal.
I kind of agreed with you because I still liked I liked Jordan Davis. I didn't like him as much with Kyle Hamilton on the board. I still like Davis, and he was on the board. I thought, geez, I'd rather have Hamilton. I still would stick to that, but you know,
I think
it's
everybody would.
still big body, still, at least he's good-ish enough. Yeah,
It's a Howie pick though. I feel like Howie likes
build the lines.
you guys always have a deep line, a
Yep,
deep defensive line, and
he definitely he contributes for sure, and it's a young line too. That he does his role absolutely very well. It's a little too limited in my opinion, but he absolutely does a good job for what he's asked to do.
all right. Well, this isn't just a battle of O line versus D line. Other things in this game, Jeremy. What are your keys to the Eagles' victory, and what is your prediction?
Lattimore, I assume, is playing.
Yes.
Will be a second game. He's going to have a tall task with these receivers. We'll see. Game story again. Eagles throwing the ball, going down the field vertically.
So you think that's the win?
Well, I think they could also run it. I just think they're going. I think they're going to try to do a nice balance this time, and whatever they're going to stick to their game plan. But whatever's working, ultimately they're just going to stick with it. If it's a run, great. If it's pass, sure. So we'll see what that is. But they could do both, and hopefully it's a good balance. And if it is, I think that they win pretty decently.
Okay, this is my question to you though.
Yes.
If you guys are pounding on the Commanders, does Sirianni keep pushing Saquon to try to break Eric Dickerson's record, or does he save a 500-yard rushing game against the Giants Week 18?
It depends on what the score is in that situation, how much time is left, of course. If the Eagles are up big time with not any time for Washington to come back and it's clear, I think they will rest Saquon for sure in that situation. Yeah.
All right. That's fair. For the Commanders, I'm going to pitch my Commanders side because honestly, I'm rooting for the Commanders in this game. Sorry,
Okay.
Jeremy. Sorry, Philadelphia. I know I went there. I still kind of claim you guys. But I think the Commanders here, if Jaden Daniels is the Jaden Daniels we've seen, Rookie of the Year Jaden Daniels, gets the ball to Terry McLaurin, it's going to be tough. I think he needs to spread it out because that last win against the Saints, it was Terry McLaurin, and then the next receiver I think was 35 yards, and it was but you have to. I think Zach Ertz, get a revenge game. Zach Ertz, come on, let's do this. I also think the defense just needs to contain the run, and I think this isn't Emmanuel Forbes on AJ Brown. This is going to be Marshawn Lattimore. Marshawn Lattimore, I don't know for sure, but Marshawn Lattimore was a traveler. This could be the Marshawn Lattimore, Mike Evans, now in the NFC East. So it's Marshawn Lattimore, AJ Brown. That's what I want to see. And I want to see a battle. This game is going on at the same time as the Giants. I'm going to have it on equally. I'm going to be in Connecticut for Christmas.
Oh.
So, yeah, I know. I don't have the TV setup's not as great at my brother's house. It's still good. Yeah, this I want to see that matchup. The AJ Brown Marshawn Lattimore matchup.
Yeah.
I want to see, because I think this is you make that trade, getting a grade A healthy Marshawn Lattimore could make a huge difference if the Commanders want to make this playoff push. Ultimately, I'm going to go with the score at Eagles 28, Commanders 24. Don't hit the spread.
Well, they do hit the spread.
Well, the Commanders don't hit the spread. The Eagles clear the spread.
Yes. Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know you're thinking Eagles side. I'm thinking
right. Yeah, I think this defense just might it's weird because I always keep other teams in these games that are good, and you should respect your opponent. They're good teams. It might just be that the Eagles just aren't faced by a lot of their competition's offense, that even if they have some bright spots here and there, I think Eagles win 35-17.
Holy crap, doubling them. Doubling them. Over doubling them.
Yeah.
That's quick math right there. 17 times 2 is 34 for all you guys that are
I was debating we had that or we had like a 31-16 kind of thing, 34-16, something, one of those three.
Okay.
I can
Okay.
be
Wow.
right
So
with
you think you guys are gonna contain the offense? I mean, it's. And then just I feel like you're coming off a hot passing game, and Saquon could be Saquon anytime. So I feel like you're feeling confident on this
no doubt.
Commanders defense, which, like, dude, it's a ragtag team, but they are playing really well.
It's a team. It's an Eagles offense that probably should have a few more points in a lot of games this year that they don't because of self-inflicting wounds. And I'd mention that too. I thought the Eagles had a few they just got to stop punishing themselves after big plays, and you can't hold in certain situations. Mailata had a hold towards the end of the game. It didn't ultimately matter, but it put them at like 1st and 20. Gotta be smarter with that and not, penalties just will kill his team. But yeah, I mean, I think just going in against Washington, I think there are points left off the board that could be put on the board. And I think the Eagles defense are keeping points off the board very easily. I don't know.
Yeah. That's fair. But I think that's enough for that. Do you want to move on to the next game? Or is there anything else you would like to say?
We can go on to the next.
Fair. Okay, so we have New York Giants at the Atlanta Falcons. Jeremy, spread. What are you thinking? What are you thinking here? Kirk Cousins has looked like garbage, by the way. I would really love Michael Penix was my draft crush.
Yeah.
That I really loved last year. And the Atlanta Falcons are my second favorite football team. Unfortunately, I was a giant Michael Vick fan. But what do you think the spread is? Holy.
Oh.
Yeah, I was rooting for him on the Eagles. I'm not
love that.
Like,
love that.
I don't think I cared as much about the rivalry when I was younger. I just loved all football.
Sure.
So,
it's in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. It's in
Atlanta minus 6.5.
Honestly, that's what I thought the spread would be, probably like 7.5. It's actually Atlanta minus 10.
Okay.
That's how much. Now, Mike, they haven't said anything about Tim Boyle because, honestly, I thought that Brian Dable would be fired already. Maybe John Mara's waiting till after Christmas. I don't know. Maybe he's trying to be a good guy. But honestly, I would just axe him before so that way he's less stressed. He can just deal and enjoy the family because he's probably worried about it.
Yeah. I'll say with these lines, there have been several times where I've been off by 4. Like, I think it probably should be.
You think it should be minus 7?
I think 10. I think 10 is just very big, but I guess not. I guess the NFL, I guess late in the season things change.
The Falcons have not been playing very well at all.
Yeah, and I'm sure they want to get off Kirk Cousins too, but no one's going to take that contract. But they still have Penix. It's just very weird. They haven't been playing well. I still think they win, and I don't think the Giants win because it doesn't make sense for the Giants to win. And I think Dable knows that too. I don't know if someone's whispering in his ear, hey.
I don't think so. Unless John Mara's like, hey, lose out and I'll keep you regardless, which I don't know if John Mara would.
Yeah, it's a good point. Good point for sure. And that it's a great counter. Only issue with the Giants is like, if you win these, it doesn't make sense to win these games, especially where they are, how much control they have on the board right now, and how it's really looked for a lot of this season. I don't know. Of course,
there's not much to talk about this game, to be honest. Like the Giants we're so decimated still.
Yes.
O-line, Illuminor came back, whatever. The Falcons pass rush isn't that good. Which is, I guess, that's a plus. So it'll give, I don't know, Tim Boyle. They still haven't said, so this is an early preview, obviously, as we usually do. I think I want Tim Boyle, honestly. Tim Boyle, I think, has looked the most competent out of the three. We'll see. I don't think Tommy DeVito's going to play with a concussion. I don't know where Drew Lock is. He was like kind of in the ranks as an emergency quarterback. He looked like he was ready to play, but
he had a boot on. You said
he had a boot on during the week, but he was suited up. Like he could have gone in at any point. Like he was suited up and he looked. They kept
Interesting.
cutting to him, and he looked like he was about to go. If Tim Boyle needed to take a breather or got hurt or just sucked that badly, but he looked good. He looked good. The only thing I really want to see out of this game, Tyrone Tracy, Malik Neighbors, go do your thing. I'm getting to the point where like I'm rooting for those two rookies so much that like I don't even care when I still care when I see like a big Wandale or Darius Slayton, but like I don't know. I want to see these players. I want to see Brian Burns get a sack. I want to see Kayvon. I don't think Kayvon has gotten a sack since he's come back. Like, let's see some production. Kayvon has honestly been relatively silent, in my opinion. So let's see some of that. My ultimate score, I think that the Giants. I want the Giants to scare the Falcons. Obviously, draft picks, I want them to lose, but I kind of want to see Michael Penix. I want to see Michael Penix maybe this game. That'd be really exciting.
Interesting.
I'm going to go Giants. And to do that, they're going to have to good score. So to go Giants 22, Falcons 24. Close game. Okay. I know. I swear if that's the exact score, Jeremy, shit's going to go wild, dude.
Yeah, you should put some money on that. That's going to give you good odds, too, with that score.
Yeah. It'd be a million.
I'll say Atlanta wins, but I'll say the Giants cover 10.
Thanks, man.
No problem. 24-17, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's what the spread I think should be. Man,
unless Kirk just goes out firing, but hasn't been pretty this year.
All right, yeah, that's fair. Our next game, though, another primetime Dallas game. Man, I wonder if they'll give Dallas as many primetime games next year.
They probably will.
Yeah.
It's Dallas. The question is, should they? No.
But that's that's how it is. The Buccaneers at Dallas Sunday Night Football. What is the spread, Jeremy? What is the spread?
This is in Dallas. The spread is. I wish I knew where the Bucs were in the playoff seedings.
I'm pretty sure they're the number one right now. Let me double check. I'm pretty sure they're the number one for the South.
Oh, in division?
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. The South sucks.
They're 8-6. Yeah, they actually have a 2-game lead. So.
Bucks again. One of my -2.5, -3. I'll go Bucks -2.5.
-4. -4. I don't know if those have changed since the initial drop.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean the Bucks. The Bucks have like we've played. I think every team. The Cowboys are the last team to play the Bucks out of all these. So we've covered them. We've seen them. Baker looks good. Mike Evans looks great.
He does.
Jalen McMillan's looking good too. He's kind of developing into like what we would, what we thought he would be. Actually, this is a fun fact about Jalen McMillan. He was actually the number one recruit out of all the wide receivers at that Washington team, over Roma Dunze, over Puka Nacua, also who was on that Washington team, and Jalen Polk, who went in the second round. Has kind of been disappointing.
Who was his teammate too at Washington, right?
Yeah. Those are all the Washington. Yeah, all the Washington. Yeah. So yeah, and he went to the latest out of those three. He also, I think, he dealt with injuries while at Washington too. But yeah, he looks really good on the Bucs. He was good at little preseason standout. Bucky Irving, I think, should be healthy this game. I believe. Let me just double check that. But Bucky Irving has been awesome.
Great. Yeah.
He's gonna be healthy this game. He had an awesome game again against the Chargers last week too. So, it's I think, I don't know, the Cowboys have been kind of hot. I hope it's a battle. I want to see some more Cooper Rush to CeeDee Lamb, especially for my fantasy football playoffs. Please, Cooper Rush and CeeDee Lamb. I think it's going to be close to the spread. I think also with Trayvon Diggs out, Deron Bland is back, but I think that Mike Evans takes advantage of this, and Baker Mayfield, Liam Cohen, maybe the future Giants coach. I'm going to go Bucks 31, Cowboys 21. Doesn't hit the spread. Yeah.
Okay. I'll go. It's just tough. Bucks. $31.
Ooh,
Dallas. 21, maybe 23. 31, 20.
Wait, you did the same score as me.
No.
Yeah, I said Bucks 31, Dallas 21.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe we should put money on that one, huh?
There might be something there.
Yeah,
I got to zone out, honestly.
Yeah, hey, that's fair, dude. You were probably doing your calculations while I was doing my calculations.
A little bit. I'm trying to pick because there are different numbers that are going through my head. It's like,
yeah. You're always trying to calculate how to hit the numbers.
It's weird too because like there are a lot of times where I'll like think like, I hate Dallas. I don't think they can score, but they have had some rhythm the last few weeks. Maybe in like Tampa isn't like, you can figure some things out against them. They're not like world beaters. So like it's just, you overthink some of these things. Yeah, maybe there's something to that score.
Yeah, I mean we'll see. We shall see. But
yes.
It's been a long episode, but there's some good storylines. Thank you guys for watching. Tell us why we're wrong. Tell us why you're right. Like and subscribe. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy Hanukkah, whatever other holiday that you may celebrate. And thank you guys. We'll see you next time. Jeremy, anything you want to say?
We will have another episode before Christmas and the holidays, of course. But nice of you to mention that, of course. And nothing else. Nothing else. Yes.
That's it. Merry Christmas. We'll see you soon. Bye. Well, yeah, there's one. We'll have one more Christmas, but I don't know. I'm just feeling jolly.
Thanks, it's a tree. It's a tree. I don't know what to say.
It's a tree. Yeah, I'm feeling the spirit.